Secretary, please begin your testimony.
Now, over the past 18 months, we've faced the most severe global financial crisis in generations. Some of the world's largest institutions have failed. Confidence in the overall system has eroded dramatically. As in any financial crisis, the damage falls principally on Main Street. It affects those who were conservative and responsible, not just those who took too much risk.
I will also announce, as I did before, a very full membership.
To address this will require comprehensive reform, not modest repairs at the margin, but new rules of the game. And the new rules must be simpler and more effectively enforced. They must produce a more stable system, one that protects consumers and investors, rewards innovation, and is able to adapt and evolve with changes in the structure of our financial system. Our system, the institutions, and the major centralized markets must be strong enough and resilient enough to withstand very severe shocks and withstand the effects of a failure of one or more of the largest institutions. Multiple bank supervisors, multiple authorities. We can't allow institutions to cherry-pick among competing regulators and shift risk to where it faces the lowest standards and weakest constraints. And we need to recognize that risk does not respect national borders. Markets are global, and high standards at home need to be complemented by strong international standards enforced more evenly and fairly.
And when banks have failed, while it has been sometimes painful, it has not been as disruptive as when the non-bank financial institutions have failed. And the two glaring examples are Lehman Brothers, where nothing was done, and AIG, where everything was done. And I believe we are looking for an alternative method to avoid those two polar extremes. That is a bankruptcy authority which can honor some and not honor others. It has some discretion.
Secretary Geithner, wouldn't a fair structure be not to prop them up with any taxpayer money?
Well, I think, again, as this crisis reveals, and as the crisis of the thrift and loan crisis, S&L crisis in the early 90s revealed, there are circumstances in which it is cheaper for the taxpayer over time and less damaging for the country over time for the government to take some risk in preventing greater costs, not just to the Deposit Insurance Fund, but to the rest of the system. That's the balance we have to strike.
From Indiana, Ms. Donnelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.